Our next speaker will be Dr. Nancy Hopkins. Dr. Hopkins is a molecular biologist and professor of biology at MIT. She is a member of the National Academy of Sciences, the Institute of Medicine of the National Academy, and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Hopkins received her BA and PhD from Harvard, where she worked on controlling gene expression in the viral life cycle. After a postdoctoral fellowship at the Cold Spring Harbor Lab, she joined the MIT Center for Cancer Research in 1973. Dr. Hopkins is a prominent advocate of equality for women in science. She was recognized in 2012 as recipient of the Margaret L. Kripke Legend Award for promotion of women in cancer medicine and cancer science. We're very pleased that she is with us today, so please give a warm welcome to Dr. Nancy Hopkins.
Thank you very much. Sorry for myself and for you that no one told me we could just tell jokes. I would have selected that approach. I love that. I don't have a joke for you, I'm afraid. So I have a few comments to make, which will echo many of the things you've heard. But first, I want to welcome you on behalf of MIT. It's really a tremendous pleasure and great honor for us to have you here. I particularly, of course, welcome the Math Prize contestants and congratulate you on your extraordinary accomplishments. I also want to add my thanks to the families and to the teachers who support your love of math. And this fantastic contest happened only because of a dedicated team of people, and I too would like to thank them. First of all, the Advantage Testing Foundation, including its wonderful president, whom I've just met, and I'm already a great admirer of, Arun Alagapan, who founded this prize and serves as the main sponsor, the Akamai Foundation, including its founder, MIT math professor Tom Layton, for supporting this prize, and of course, Ravi Bopanna. And thanks to everyone at MIT who helped make the event successful, and especially my friend and the chair of the math department, Mike Zipser, who was so instrumental in bringing the math prize for girls to this campus. As I'm sure you would agree, there cannot be, I think, a better place than MIT to hold this competition. If you love math, you're in the right place. I often read in newspapers and magazines that American students don't like math. This always comes as a complete shock to me, because I've been a professor at MIT for 40 years, and I honestly don't know a single person at MIT who doesn't love math. Who are these people talking about? 85% of MIT undergraduates, 85% of the men, and 85% of the women major in math, science, or engineering. Over 2/3 of our faculty are mathematicians, scientists, or engineers. They're all at least good at math, and they all love and respect math. So I agreed to speak here today because I was so excited to meet so many young women with a passion for mathematics. And as you know, and we've heard many times already today, there are many fewer women than men in many fields of not just math, but many fields of science and engineering. MIT works very hard to understand why this is the case, because as we've also heard, the world needs people with your skills to make basic discoveries, invent new technologies, some of which we know will help to solve some of the most complex problems. And we do believe, absolutely, we know for a fact that if women are underrepresented, we don't have all the talent we need for this purpose. My passion in life was molecular biology and cancer research. But along the way, I developed a second one, which was working with MIT to understand the underrepresentation of women. And a tremendous amount has been learned about this, and it's quite fascinating. I actually consider it a little spin-off of my field of biology. After all, it is a human behavioral issue and a brain issue. So we've learned several things, and I'd like to just mention the ones that I think are important. First is this question of loneliness. If you're not at MIT, where everybody loves math, it can be lonely to be a person who loves math, I'm told. As I say, it's not my own experience because I don't live outside MIT. But for the rest of you who have to leave this wonderful place, I'm sorry. But that can be a problem. And what we have learned is that when you belong to a group that is underrepresented, it's even lonelier. And so that, I think, is really why this event is so important. It's not just the competition, although I'm all for competition, I guess, and certainly I'm all for prizes. But I think it's the network of people you meet here that's so valuable. And so my advice is nurture that network. It will come in handy throughout your life. The second thing we learned is that even though the world keeps paying lip service, oh, we want more people in math and science, we've got to attract more talented women, we do know that society itself clings to these outdated beliefs and stereotypes that actually drive people away. And they're very hard to fight because they're largely unconscious. But the good news is that we do know how to make things change happen. So when I was your age, which admittedly was in a different century, there were almost no women biology professors in research universities in America, and almost no women in the United States even attended medical school. Back then, you won't believe this, people actually wondered whether women's brains were capable of great biological insight. Yet in my lifetime, not only did I get to be a professor of biology at MIT, but today over half the biology PhDs in the United States go to women, 25% of MIT biology faculty, 40% of our neuroscience faculty are women, nearly half the medical students in the United States are women, and best of all, I personally have known 6 women who won the Nobel Prize in medicine, and 4 of them are good friends of mine. And I think the same thing will happen in mathematics in your lifetime. As a woman, I was a pioneer biologist in my generation. I didn't know it when I started. I just loved biology. Off I went. Who knew you were a pioneer? I think you are, in fact, still math pioneers. So as a pioneer to pioneers, here's what my advice is. 1, don't do math because your country needs you to help ensure its economic prosperity in the future, even though it does. Don't do math because your discoveries might make it possible to solve some of the world's most intractable problems, though they might. Don't do math just because you can get a great high-paying job and be the envy of your friends who don't love math, though you can. Do math because you have a passion for it. It turns out that pursuing math and science that you love is the most exciting and fulfilling life a person can have. I know that being able to do research in science that I loved at MIT made me a totally privileged human being. As for those outdated societal beliefs about what girls should and shouldn't do, my advice is just ignore them. You've already done so by being here today. I suggest, in fact, not only do you dare to be different, embrace it, celebrate it. Wear a sign that says, I love math. I think that this is the way these stereotypes will be broken down, because really, you are the envy of other people. So in closing, let me again say congratulations on your extraordinary achievements. Thank you for bringing your love of math and these accomplishments to MIT, and good luck this afternoon.